All right, let's get started. How are the screen breaks so far? Good. So today we're going to start chapter 7. Basically, what we're going to learn on chapter 7 is arbitrage. So when we talk about arbitrage, what comes to our mind? Any idea what is arbitrage? Any thoughts? So if we say an asset is traded in market, what is the expectation for the price? Fair value, overvalue, undervalue. If any asset, stocks, bonds, currencies, traded in the market, what is the expectations about price? Should it be traded on fair value, overvalue, undervalue? Should be traded undervalued? Why? So let's say you own one stock of Apple, right? You already bought it. So now you want your asset should be traded at undervalued. Why? Let's say you want to buy one stock of Apple. What do you want? Overvalued? Let's say I have $200. I want to buy one stock of Apple. What I want to be traded overvalued or fair value. Do we know like what is the fair value, undervalue, overvalue? Any idea? Fair value. You see, if we don't know these concepts, it's gonna be really tough if we directly jump on arbitrage on foreign exchange. Because whatever we learned, I told you in the very first class, whatever we learned so far, no new learning, but we learned everything in terms of foreign exchange, international trade, right? When you say fair value, undervalue, overvalue, what do you mean for any asset? Principle of finance, investments, corporate finance, we should have learned those topics. No idea. So when he said value of any asset, so value of any asset, or that means fair value of any asset, that means value should reflect all the discounted cash flow that you want to receive in future. If we say value, it means present value of all expected cash flow, right? Present value of all expected cash flow. When we talk about stocks, present value of all expected dividends, right? When we talk about bonds, present value of all expected coupons and face value, right? If you think about any business, just a business, a project, present value of all the expected cash flow that project or that business will generate, right? If you think about your corporate finance class, we talked about investment today, then we talked about all the operating cash flows generated from the project, right? So value means present value of all the expected cash flows, right? And in finance, if market is efficient, any asset should trade at fair value in the market. It could be Apple, it could be Intel, anything. When they trade in the market, it should trade at fair value, right? If it's undervalued, market is not efficient, you can buy and sell later to get some profit. If it's overvalued, you can sell now. Going forward, when price goes down, you can buy back, get some profit. So now, I'm asking again, any asset, if trades in the market, at what price they should trade? Fair value, undervalue, or overvalue? Any asset, if they trade in the market, at what price they should trade? Fair and over. Now, fair value, right? So that by doing some trade, you should not be able to generate a profit, right? Right? If not, then what can we do? If not, we should buy cheap, sell high, make profit. This is called arbitrage. When market is not efficient, asset is trading other than the fair value, that we can make money by trading the mispricing, right? We can make money by trading on the mispricing. To be specific, what do you mean by arbitrage? Sometimes one asset is traded in two different markets. Let's say this is my asset. I can buy it from Walmart, or I can buy it from Aldi next door. Just opposite, right? Walmart and Aldi. So if Walmart is trading this same thing, $50, Aldi same thing, $60, what do you want to do? Same thing, 50, 60, 50 in Walmart, 60 in Aldi. What do you want to do? Go Walmart, buy at 50, go Aldi, sell at 58, make money, right? So arbitrage, when same asset trading at different price in two different locations or two different markets. In finance means two different markets. What investors can do? Investors can act on the mispricing. They can buy from the cheap, sell in the high, and then they can make money. Riskless money, right? Buy from Walmart, go next door, sell at Aldi. Riskless profit. So this is called arbitrage. Any questions? Some common characteristics. Arbitrage means you are making riskless profit, first of all. Arbitrage means different prices at two different locations, and you're working on the mispricing, right? So why we want to do arbitrage? The answer is very common. Make money. What is the impact of arbitrage? What is the impact of arbitrage? Let's say this is selling 50 at Walmart, 60 at Aldi, but 55 is the fair value. 55 is the fair value. I'm the first to identify the mispricing. Let's say I make one trade. Now you all identify this mispricing. You all started making one trade. What is the impact? more demand in Walmart, so Walmart will increase the price. More supply in Aldi, they will lower the price. So both will try to reach in this direction. So you can apply the same example in stock, bond, currency setting. Demand and supply, same theory. So the outcome or impact of arbitrage is your asset will move towards fair value, so that it will reach to fair value, and after a certain point of time, no more riskless profit is possible. After a certain point of time, no more riskless profit is possible. Make sense? Three different things. What is arbitrage? Mispricing of same asset in two different places. What you should do? Act on mispricing to make money. What is the impact? Price of the asset will reach or move towards fair value, so that after a certain point, even if you want to do any trade, you will not be able to make money. Make sense? Now, one of the thing in real life implications or in more complex world implications, it does not always mean if one asset is trading at two different price in two different places, it does not always mean arbitrage is there, because there are costs to execute the transaction. Let's say Aldi and Walmart is not next door. They are 50 miles apart. Then what are the implications? You have to rent a car, or you have to use your own car, fill in some gas, buy from Walmart, carry to Aldi, sell and come back. So you have some cost associated with the transactions other than just buying and selling, right? So let's say there are like $10 cost of gas. $10 cost of gas, because you have to buy from Walmart 50 miles apart. You have to drive, rent a U-Haul, and come back. Do you still see arbitrage there? Still see arbitrage there? Definitely no, right? Buying at Walmart $50, selling at Aldi $60, $10 profit, but you have some associated cost of $10. And that's why in real life, due to this cost, even if one financial instrument is trading two different prices at two different locations, there is no arbitrage because there are some costs associated with that. If you adjust for that cost, there is no more riskless profit. Makes sense? So now we'll talk about arbitrage in terms of foreign exchange transactions. Okay, so why this one popped up? So today, what are we gonna cover? These three things. If you feel things look complex, feel free to stop me if you get lost, okay? Because things gonna be complex when we talk about in terms of foreign exchange. Concepts are pretty easy. But calculations got complex when we apply in foreign exchange. Three different arbitrage we're gonna talk about. Locational, triangular, covered interest arbitrage. Locational is the most widely used or most common. And this is the only arbitrage that is applicable, any setting. But the other two are very specific to foreign exchange market. This is the only one that is applicable anywhere. Anywhere. What is a locational arbitrage? So when you say locational arbitrage, it means buy the asset from one location, sell it somewhere else. So buying asset, so we are talking about foreign exchange selling. That means currency at one location, sell it to somewhere else. So buy from where it is priced cheap and immediately selling it another location where it is priced high. So what is the gains for that? Your gain is basically a function of spread or mispricing. You're buying from one location, let's say $2, selling it to one location in $2.10. This is a spread or mispricing, 10 cents times invested capital. Times invested. We'll do an example. We'll do an example. And the idea is more the spread, more the gains, more the invested capital, more the gains. Right? And after we all doing those arbitrage, what is the outcome? What is the final outcome? Currency value will move towards the fair value, right? So that no more arbitrage, right? Makes sense? So locational arbitrage is very simple, very easy. Buy from one market or one bank, if there is a spread. Gain is a function of spread and invested capital. And the final outcome, no more arbitrage will be available after some certain transactions. Now let's say we have this example. Do you see any arbitrage possible? Yes. Do you see any arbitrage possible from this example? If yes, how? If you think due to spring break, you forget a lot of stuffs, feel free. We can remember from the spring break class. Okay. And from this example, so this means one British pound, one British pound, one British pound, one British pound, or how much dollar in two different banks, B versus us quotation, right? If this is a real quotations, do you see any arbitrage? Buying across, selling zero, right? All agree? All, how many of you agree with Lina? Sam, right? I don't know Sam. No one? Okay. We'll Mario, right? Okay. Who else? What about you two? Do you guys agree? Do not agree? What do you think? Definitely. Agree? Agree. Okay. Then at what price we should buy from Akron Bank? You agree or you think we do not agree? Okay, okay.
I in the Akron is $1.61, and if you sell to another bank, it also $1.61.
Absolutely. So it doesn't mean if majority is saying something, it has to be correct. Absolutely, check. So here is the deal. When you look at the quotation, you have to think about two different stuff. First of all, which one is the foreign currency? Which one is the foreign currency here? Pound is the foreign currency. So the currency that is represented in terms of one, that is the foreign currency, right? Dollar is my domestic. And you have to also understand the intermediary, which is bank, is giving you the quotation in terms of foreign currency. So bank will buy British pound at here, right? Bank will sell British pound here. So if you want to buy British pound, you have to buy this rate, because this is bank sell. Bank sell, I buy, right? This is bank buy. Bank buy, I sell, right? If I buy from Akron Bank, 1 British pound cost me $1.61 of US dollar, right? Now, if I go to BYN Bank to sell British pound, what is my rate? 1.61, right? Because always remember, bank in terms of foreign currency, this is buy, this is sell. If bank buy, I sell. That means if I want to sell 1 British pound, then arbitrage. Any arbitrage? No arbitrage, right? What if arbitrage, no arbitrage? What do you think now? We have or we have not? We have arbitrage right now, right? Because I can buy from Akron at 161. Now I can sell at ZYN at 162. 1 cents per arbitrage. Assuming no other cost, there is no other cost, I can make 1 cent for each transaction for $1. Right? Makes sense? So let's do one example. Now, from this example, this is New Zealand dollar in terms of US dollar, okay? So you have to identify New Zealand dollar is here, okay? This is the foreign currency. What do you think? Any arbitrage? No arbitrage. Buying from where? And do you think you can make money? So 635, 640, 645, 650. So if we buy from North Bank, what should be our buying rate? If we want to buy 1 New Zealand dollar, what should be our buying rate? 164. And if you want to sell in South Bank, so we have 1 MJ, what should be our selling rate? 645. Any arbitrage money? Right? Now look carefully. Same asset, two different locations, right? Same asset, two different locations. This is locational arbitrage. Okay. Now let's say you want to play with $1,000. Or let's say you want to play, make it easy, make it simple. You want to play with 1,000 New Zealand dollars. You want to buy 1,000 New Zealand dollars. So that means if you want to buy 1,000 New Zealand dollars, you need this much of US dollar investments, right? And you make only $5 profit. Let's say you want to make it more. You want to play with 10,000 New Zealand dollars. So that means today you need this much, and you can make this much. So if you look carefully, spread is fixed, but you can decide how much amount of investments. More investments, more gains, right? Now you may feel like only $50. Only $50. But if you look carefully, there is no commitment. Buy from one place, sell just there, right? Another place. No commitment of fund, right? You can just buy now, make a phone call, right after you sell it. No fund commitment, not even single day, right? So in terms of annualized returns, too much because no commitments. No commitments. It's just making 2 phone calls. Buy from one place, sell other, no fund commitments. So that's why even if it looks like investing around $6,400, I'm making $50. That looks very, 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 very tiny, but there is no commitment. First of all, second of all, riskless profit, right? No volatility, no risk, nothing else, riskless profit. So that's why it worth it to make this transaction. And when we all will start doing that, what is the implication? This gap will move to 0, right? This gap will move to 0 so that no one can make any money. Questions? Huh? If you want to use US dollar to invest it, so basically it is presented in terms of New Zealand dollar, right? Now you have to flip it. Flip it. So flip means 1/0.65, 1/0.640, right? If you want to invest in terms of US dollar. So you're trying to say you are a New Zealand person, you want to invest in terms of US, right? Keep flipping it. Make sense? Now look for is there any gap or not. Find out the values and look for if you can buy cheap from any location and sell high from any location. Make sense? To find out this 4 rates and find out the gap. Any questions? Moving on, triangular arbitrage. So most importantly, you may not find any arbitrage there because it is presented in terms of New Zealand dollar, and it looks like New Zealand dollar is mispriced. So we'll do it soon. So from here, it should be clear. Triangular arbitrage. Now, what is that? So we know that sometimes cross exchange rates are there. What is a cross exchange rate? When two different currencies have exchange rate with US dollar, two different currencies, let's say Canadian dollar, Mexican peso, they are represented in terms of US dollar. There is also one exchange rate that is showing Mexican peso and Canadian dollar, right? If there is a mispricing. If there is any mispricing, we can trade and make money on it. So the idea is, when two different currencies are presented in terms of US dollar, you can calculate the indirect or implied cross exchange rate between these two values, right? We'll work on that. And also, the financial intermediary will show you or give you the direct code for these two different currencies. If there is any mispricing, then you can make money. You can make money. In terms of gain, more spread, more invested capital, more money. In terms of impact, the more you transact, it will force to fair value. In terms of other costs, be careful. Consider bid and ask. Okay, bid and ask spread. Sometimes apparently it looks like arbitrage are there, but it may not. Okay. So let's say British pound exchange rate with dollar is 1.6, right? That means 1 British pound, $1.6, right? Let's say Malaysian ringgit, MYR. So that means 1 Malaysian ringgit, 20 cents of US dollar. So this is US exchange rate with two different currencies. And this is shown by financial institutions or intermediary. And right now we are thinking of bid and ask are same. There is no spread. Same thing. Okay. So this financial institution is also telling you 1 British pound is 8.1 Malaysian ringgit. This is given. This is quoted rate from the bank. 1 pound, $1.60. 1 ringgit, 20 cents. 1 British pound, 8.1 Malaysian ringgit. This is given, right? Now, from these two exchange rates, can we calculate the implied rate between these two? Implied rate between these two? Can we? So the idea is 1.6 British pound. Make sense? So if I simplify the equation, sorry, 0.2. Simplify, right? I just simplified the equation. Basic algebra. So 8. Right? Make sense? Simplifying 8. So that means £1 is 8 Malaysian ringgit. Simplified. £1. If you feel you struggle, you feel no. I just simplify from the two different rate. I find the implied cross rate. So this is the implied one. This is not the one you want to trade. You will trade on this because this is quoted by bank. Bank will not trade on the implied. Bank will trade on the quoted. But that is the fair one here. And we know that if on the market something is not trading at fair, there is misprice. We can make money on that, right? Now, if we compare fair with the quoted, we can easily see mispricing. Mispricing on British pound or mispricing on Malaysian ringgit. Is Malaysian ringgit is overpriced, underpriced, or what? Is it cheap? Is it? What do you think? So the fair is telling you if you have 1 British pound, you are supposed to get 8 Malaysian ringgits, right? But the quote is giving you if you have 1 British pound, you will get 8.1 ringgits, right? Right? So in that regard, it looks like you can make money if you have British pound, convert to ringgit, then back to pound. Because ringgit is not sufficiently priced and it is kind of weak than expected, right? So in that regard, your strategy should be from British pound to ringgit, right? We are from US. Do we have British pound? We have British pound? No, right? So we have to use our USD to get British pound. Then ringgit. Then back to dollar. Easy job because fair is £1, 8 ringgit. That bank is giving me £1, 8.1 ringgit. They want to give me more, but I don't have British pound. I use my US dollar to get British pound, then British pound to ringgit, ringgit to back US dollar. Make sense? Now look at these quotations. And right now we are thinking of no spread. This is big, this is us. So don't worry, no spread. So now if we have $10,000, how much British pound we can get from that? If we have 10,000 US dollars, how much British pound we can get from that? Six? 6250, is everyone getting that? 6250, if not, feel free. So basically the job is 10,000 divided by 1.6. So British pound 6250. Now, with that British pound, how much ringgit we can get? So with this British pound, 6250, bank is offering 8.1, right? Bank is offering 8.1, right? So Malaysian ringgit is how much? 5250? 5065. So don't look at here, okay? This is the rate you will transact. This is the implied that will give the decision what to do, but this is not the rate you will transact. Now with this Malaysian ringgit 50625, how much US dollar we can get? 10125. How much we have started with? 10,000. How much you end up with? 10,125. It may look like it is around 1.25% of profit, right? 1.25% of profit. So it may look like it's not much. But if you look carefully, no one commitment. Start today, finish today, make some phone calls. You have that money. Free money. No risk, no commitments. Right? What if bank quoted 1 British pound, 7.8 Malaysian ringgit?
British pound is undervalued.
Previous situations. So in terms of exchange, you can, it's tough to say under versus overvalued, but you can think that Malaysian ringgit is kind of cheap because fair value is 1 British pound 8 ringgit, but the bank is giving you 1 British pound 8.1 ringgit. So in terms of fair value, Malaysian ringgit is kind of cheap, or weak, you can say that. Now, if bank is quoting you 1 British pound is 7.8 Malaysian ringgit, what is the implication you think you have? You want to do any arbitrage? If yes, how? You want to say something? Can so fear is telling you if you need 8 ringgit, you should get 1 pound. But bank is quoting you if you get 7.8 ringgit, you will get 1 pound. Do you see any discrepancy? Do you want to make any money?
US dollars. I saw them in
Liza, Malaysian currency, okay?
and then comparing US or British pound.
Absolutely. So the idea is here in the middle. This step will give you, right? If anyone can convert Malaysian ringgit to British pound, it can give you some money, but we have to add these two steps on the way. That will give us some money. Redo the same process, just change the cycle. You should be able to generate some money. Questions? Good so far? Now let's add some complexity in this example. Because we know that bid and ask should not be same, right? There should be a gap. There should be a spread. So the example is done here. You can practice at your own when you go back home. This is quoted. Bid, quoted, ask. When you look at the quoted rate, first job, identify which one is the foreign currency. Okay. First intermediary or bank will buy or sell foreign currency, right? And you have to do the opposite. You will buy foreign currency at bid, sell foreign currency at ask, and you are the opposite end. So from here, implied bid is 1 British pound, 8 Malaysian ringgit, right? From here, implied ask is it should be 1.61 divided by 0.201, right? It should be something, I believe, 1 British pound is equivalent to Malaysian ringgit 8.001 or something like that. Maybe something. 009, sorry, 009, right? 8.009. So we can see that if we have British pound, bank is offering more, right? Bank is offering more. If we have British pound and we want to convert Malaysian ringgit, bank is offering more, right? So let's do the same process. $10,000 convert it to British pounds. What is the appropriate rate from here? You have $10,000. You will convert it to British pound. What is the appropriate rate? Exchange rate. Why? You are buying. You are buying. That means bank will sell, right? You buy, bank sell. This is bank sell. So that means 10,000 divided by 1.61, and you are getting how much is it? 1.1. Now you have 6,211 British pound convert to ringgit. Which one you should use? Which one is your Y? Why is that? So on this quotation, what is the foreign currency? Pound, right? Because denominator is a foreign currency, right? So pound is a foreign currency. So this is the quotation from bank, buy pound, quotation from bank, sell pound, right? So you are selling pound, bank is buying, right? So what is the appropriate one? This one, right? So identify the foreign currency, which is the denominator one. Bank will buy a give, seller ask. So we have 6211 times 8.1. So how much Malaysian ringgit we got? Okay, 50310, right? Makes sense. If not, feel free. We can go over. This is really important, maybe for your final exam. So for triangular, your first step is to calculate the implied. If you see discrepancy, you have to find out which one bank is giving more from the implied. And then design the strategy, just convert. And for conversion, you have to be careful. You have to find out which currency the denominator, that's the one currency. Bank will buy and bid, sell and ask, I am the other end line. Whatever bank is doing, I am the other doing. So if I have Malaysian ringgit 50310, convert back to US dollar. Point two, why? Bank buy currency, I'm selling Malaysian currency, right? So that should be times 0.2. How much you got? How much you got? Okay, 10,062 or 3, right? Still, we're making some money, right? Very little. Less than the first example, because in the last example, we made around $125. Now we are making only $62. So in the last example, it was 1.25%. Now it's only 0.6%. But still, no fund commitment, no risk. Make a couple of phone calls. Phone calls are free in US. Make some money. So coming back to this one, consider bid-ask spread, because due to bid-ask spread, variant, it may be less profitable or maybe even no profitable, right? Consider the bid-ask spread. If there is no bid-ask spread, things are better, more profitable. But if it is bid-ask spread, less profitable. Questions? Triangular arbitrage. This is same thing like the triangle, right? Start from one, convert, and return to the original point where you started. And it will make some sort of riskless profit. Here is the thing. Going back to the original definition. Same asset, trading different prices, different markets. You are acting on the mispricing, making some riskless profit. This is called arbitrage. Good so far? Okay. Now, how things happen in triangular arbitrage. what was our first step? Use dollar to buy British pound, right? Or if we generalize the example, use dollar to buy one point currency, right? It could be any currency. So when we do our first step, use dollar to buy pounds on the deal. If we keep doing, if all are keep doing that, financial intermediary will keep increasing our price, right? Because a lot of people want to use US dollar to buy British pound. Similar concept, think about those demand and supply curve, right? Demand is going high to buy British pound. Bank will increase aspects. Next step, pound to ringgit. Pound to ringgit. Bank reduce the difference. Pounds, ringgit to pound, right? Why? Because a lot of people want to do that, right? A lot of people want to do that. Final step. Ringgit to US dollar. Bank reduces the price of ringgit with respect to the dollar. So ideally, if you go back, our first appropriate rate was that, right? Bank would be that. Our second appropriate rate was that, right? Our third appropriate rate was what is the outcome? Spread is getting big. B and our spread is getting big, right? And when everyone will start doing that, spread will get big, right? What is the outcome? No more arbitrage. No more arbitrage. Questions?
Any conditions, if we have more demand, then for ask price, then we'll increase it for high price, then we'll be
Right. That's it.
reducing one.
Right. So think of this way. So, like the sitting here, right? If you have 5 cars, if you have 5 cars, 100 buyers, what is the implication? What do you want to do? Sell them cheap or high? Think of from a car dealer. 5 cars in the lot, 100 buyers standing in front of them. Sell higher. Sell high, right? Similarly, car dealers, lot of cars. Manufacturing companies want to give them a lot of cars. Well, by law. Same given supply issues. Okay. Increase the price, you will buy price. And that
Who will the bank will increase the buy price?
Huh?
Who will the bank will increase the buy price?
so bank, that's a good point. If opposite things happen, but bank will not increase the buy price. Okay, bank will not increase the buy price because if this becomes converge, bank should not be able to make money for their regular fees and cost. If they converge, they should not be able to run their business. They will always go away or maybe in a little gap. But there is hardly any cases, maybe the bank could increase the buy price. Questions, but good question. So there could be a hypothetical example. Let's say ask price is going up, way up, because people want to buy a lot of, let's say, pound or whatever ringgit, okay? Ask price is way up. In that case, bank may need to buy pound or ringgit from outsiders so that they can maintain the inventory. In that case, if this is going up a lot, bank may increase this price because they have to buy from outside to keep the inventory. If not, bank will increase this. Make sense? Final one. Covert interest arbitrage. So if you read the name carefully, this is basically interest arbitrage and covert. What does it mean? Let's say right now interest rate at US is 2%. Interest rate in UK is 4%. So we don't want to invest in US, right? We want to invest in UK, right? So our motivation to make money from the interest arbitrage, interest differentials, not exchange differentials. But the problem is today we use USD to buy British pound, right? Buy British pound. Future, we receive a lot of British pound. Which we sell to get US dollar back. Today we buy British pound. In future, we sell British pound. Make sense? So this buy and sell only due to interest rate differentials will have impact on exchange rate. And at the end, we may not have any profit from these interest differentials, right? That's why it's covert interest arbitrage. That means we want to get interest arbitrage, but at the same time, we need coverage. What coverage we need here? What coverage we need? What coverage we need? Easy answer. I think we have did it before. What is the risk here? If you want to make these transactions to generate 2% interest rate differentials, borrow from US or use our own money. Do not invest in US. Invest here. This is guaranteed, right? Because if you buy bond 4%, you should get it. Like that's a treasury bonds, you should get it 4%. But what is the problem? Do we have any risk? Do we have any risk in these transactions? Absolutely. And to be specific, How? How? Is it a risk? British pound depreciate now or later? Specific. Later, it's a risk. You tell me. From the very first class, MNC valuation, foreign currency depreciation, good or bad? From the very first class, MNC valuation, foreign currency depreciation, good or bad? Foreign currency depreciation, good or bad at future? At future, foreign currency depreciate means if you want to transfer or convert, you will get more home currency. So getting more home currency, good or bad? Good, right? So is depreciation is a risk at future? What is a risk at future? If foreign currency appreciate, that is a risk, right? Because at future, if foreign currency appreciate, you will get less home currency. And so that there could be a situation, even if you are generating 2% additional, but when you convert foreign to home, due to foreign currency appreciate, you are not getting this 2% return, right? Right? So that's why the reason is because if we all want to do this, that means we all will be buying British pound today, right? Use US dollar, buy British pound. Use US dollar, buy British pound. So foreign currency will appreciate. And that may continue until future, right? So when converting with appreciated rate, we may experience loss, right? So the risk is foreign currency may appreciate. Foreign currency depreciate, very good for us. Foreign currency stay the same, no problem. The problem is foreign currency appreciate. That's not good, right? How can we solve this problem? Huh? Yeah. Do you agree forward contract? How many of you agree with forward contract? 1, 2, 200. Anything else? Other people, if you don't agree, what is your recommendation? Other than foreign forward contract. What is the recommendation? Forward contract is definitely one of the solutions, definitely. But does foreign contract have any problem? Forward contract, does it have any problem? Any risk? Counterparty? Risk, right? Then what could be a better solution? What is a better solution? We talked about 100 different times. how can we avoid counterparty risk? How can we avoid counterparty risk? How can we avoid? Two different type of contracts, right? One is forward, what is the other one? Future contract. So forward contract definitely a better, good solution, but not the better. If we do a forward contract, it's kind of solved, but it could have counterparty risk at expirations. The other side may not be willing to do that, right? So future is a better solution, but both work. Both will solve the problem. Because for both forward and futures, you don't pay any price today, right? But both solve the problem. So now, going back to the name, covered interest arbitrage. I told you it's interest arbitrage and it's covered. So that means we're trying to think about getting this spread. So we are actually doing interest arbitrage. But the problem is, if all started doing that, there is exchange rate risk. And we need the coverage for that. How can you get the coverage? Either go for a forward future contract to sell British pound at a future debt. Sell British pound at a future debt and buy back US dollar. Make sense? So interest arbitrage and then covered. If we all do that, realignment is little different. We'll talk about it. Okay, realignment is little different. So we have around 5 or 6 minutes, but we're gonna stop here because this will take time. So this is a problem how covered interest arbitrage work. And then we'll talk about how realignment basically work. Like in the last two examples, location and triangle arbitrage, what we do? We directly trade with exchange rate, right? We directly force or push exchange rate to move. Here, we are not forcing or pushing the exchange rate. Rather, we are forcing or pushing maybe interest rate, right? So how is gonna work or realign so that no arbitrage happens? We're gonna talk about next class after the exam. Questions? Let's see you all on Thursday.